This is Coach Pete with his student Marlene.
Work on your backspinning again. Leg cross, the third squats, pull it down belly. Maybe get one bounce, one more bounce, and then you can play it over. But just forehand side. You're not allowed to stop with backhand, you're not allowed to play over with backhand. Just forehand. Up to four. Okay? Yes. Good. Bravo. Nice. Next game the same. So again, one bounce, stop it, and then you play over it directly. Okay. Also again before, try to use the whole court. Move me there, move me there. Nice one back. Come on. Remember, my contact is small. The first contact is very important that you can play with volley. Let the ball fall off your strings when you stop the ball. Okay? Good. Come on. Nice. Okay, now next step, Marlene. Now we have to play also low. We play without our belly. And now we take the ball directly and we play it over directly. So no bounce on the ground. Okay, so now very good footwork that you always can play forehand, forehand. Again, up to four. Don't over the strings when you stop the ball. Okay? You have a long contact. Good. Bravo, good moving. Okay, now last step, volley, volley. Still over the rope, just forehand. And you're just allowed to play like touch volleys, not like high here and bam. Yeah? Always control it, try to move me and try to move you. Okay? Bravo. Bravo, Martin. Good. Out. Ein Stück zurück. Okay, Martin. Now we play volley volley from the team. Forehand cross. We started the team with every volley we approach to the net. Very close until we are at the net. Then we go back again with every volley until we arrive to the tee again. Okay? We try to make it with one ball and without the ball touching the ground. Okay? Okay. Now we go forward again. Volley from the tee. We're not going forward, we just stay at the tee. And how many balls can we play without making a mistake? What do you think? How many? 20. Okay. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now a little bit for your backspin touch for the backhand side, because on the forehand side it's pretty easy to get under the ball because your arm is close to your body. The backhand side is the opposite side, so it's a little bit more difficult to get under the ball. So now what you try is please just this. You let the ball bounce once, and then you just let it roll over your strings. You can also take your second hand if you don't feel familiar with one hand. Okay, and then you try to keep the ball as long as possible in play. Okay, let's go. We count. 1. Oh, let it bounce. Ah, you're too fast. Let it bounce once. I'm out. Yeah, 1 bounce. 1, 2, 3. Good. Backspin. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that works already pretty well. We've practiced it a lot last week. Now you can keep the ball in play in the air. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And take both hands, it's fine. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, come on. 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. Very good. One bounce, stop it, one bounce, play it over, and just backhands now. Feel free to take both hands. If you take one, it's also fine. Huh? And remember, the contact is important when you stop. Let it roll over your strings. 1-0. Yes. Good. Nice, Marlene. Very good. 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 Very good angle. Okay, 3-1. Good, Marlene. Yes. Now again, next step, one bounce, stop it, and then play directly over. Okay? And remember that the contact is most important. Up to 4. Stop it, start. Good. Up. Just back in. Yes. Good moving. Nice. Oh, I'm very sorry. 1-0. I forget. Up. Come on. Yes, just backhand. Very good. Come on. Oh. Points on the whole thing short. Just backspin. Okay, no top spin allowed. And when you do the point in the net, you get 2 points. Okay? So smash is allowed. You get a lot, you can smash. But otherwise, just backspin. Okay? Try to find a way to the net very early. Out. Why don't you take it as a volley? Huh? Such a nice ball. Nice. Bravo.
Okay, Pete, here we are again. Thanks for sharing this another lesson with Marlene.
Thank you.
We had this first lesson, it was about ground strokes, I think, and topspin. Can you tell us about the topics of this lesson we've seen now?
Yeah, now Marlene is coming for a third lesson since some weeks. So I tried to start to create some backspin with her, like to develop kind of backspin.
Why so early with a girl?
Oh, you cannot start early enough. I think it's very important if you can play backspin, for example, to be able to play a drop shot or to be able to play at the net. I think when you watch women's tennis nowadays, it's important that you have this little extras, that you are not just able to hit from the baseline with a lot of power. If you have this little extra, like a good slice, like Ashley Barty, for example, the current #1, she's playing a decent slice on the backhand, very good volleys. So I think
the traditional approach is more like first I teach them ground strokes and serve, and one day later we'd start to make some volley. But you would say it's better to introduce volley from the very beginning, or backspin?
Yeah, because then she's able to do it earlier. So, and when I have her 3 times, I can, to me 2 times per week focusing on the ground stroke is enough.
Okay.
And if I once a week make like 20-30 minutes for backspin, I think this is not too much.
No, it was. Yeah. I really like the lesson. And also for me, it's, I've seen many tennis lessons in my life, and this was kind of untypical. I didn't see you making demonstrations. I didn't hear you giving corrections about movements. But what amazed me was that you didn't give corrections about the movement, but I loved her point of contact on the volley. But many coaches, for example, when they watch the lesson, they will ask you, or parents, that forehand volley, is it not a little bit risky? Why don't you say something? Why don't you change it? So can you?
No, to me it's the same reason like when we made it with the ground stroke. The implicit method is first all about ball control. So I'm not giving her any technical correction. For me it's more like to develop the feeling for the ball. So I'm working more with phrases like let the ball roll over your strings, try to feel the ball, try to follow through a little longer, and like try to give them some ideas how it should feel like. Yeah?
So it's more about how they make contact with the ball than how the movement is looking like.
Yes.
Would you see that you have seen players who make movements that look good, but they lack touch for the ball and ball control?
I often see that, like players who have really like a nice technique, like the way it looks like, but I see no control for the ball. And for example, on the volley, it's very important to be able to put the ball away, to decelerate the speed of the ball by giving the ball some backspin and not just making like a movement. It doesn't give you
soft hands, like.
Soft hands, yeah.
Okay, so your basic idea is to first give them the touch for the ball, and perhaps later make the movement like perfect, or?
Yeah, I mean later on there has to be some technical correction. Like for example, also on her backhand side, for sure. After a while, I will like trying to develop like a real.
That would have been my next question. Sorry, because you let her play with 2 hands. Many people will say, "What the hell? Why does she let her play with 2 hands? Why doesn't he correct it from the very beginning?" But it's your approach. You say if she has the touch for the ball, one day she can also hit it with 1 hand.
And she's 10 years old. Like it's really different. She plays a 2-handed backhand, so everything with 1 hand is pretty difficult for her. And as you could see in the video, she was able to keep the ball up in the air, like I think it was 40 or 50 times. So for me, that's most important at the beginning. And when I see that the ball control is good, and when I see that she's getting older, then I'll go a little bit more in the technical.
So would you say the same stands true for footwork? Because you didn't make any corrections about footwork. For me, it looked like you don't care. Does she take the right foot to move to the ball or the left one? You don't care.
Yeah, at the moment I don't care at all, because we were also playing points there again. So she's learning to move natural to the ball, and to me this is much more important than when I tell her, hey, you have to take the right foot or the left foot, because then she's thinking again much more. And this is what I don't want. I want that she's moving naturally to the ball, and most of the time, it's always the right way.
It makes more sense for me.
Yeah.
I really love this lesson. Perhaps we will see another one in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, would be great.
But it was a great pleasure, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Robert.